All right, it's going to be a quick one today. We got our first freeze and it's 26 degrees right now. My hands are freezing. But I have two things on my mind this morning. So first thing is that I started, I've always been a big proponent of, continual learning and self-development and all those kinds of things. And I implemented a new thing on my schedule. So I actually blocked out an hour every day to have learning time. So this is just time dedicated to, learning something. It could be anything. Mostly focused for me on business stuff and things like that. So I use Google Calendar, and I have a meeting block in my calendar that just says learning, and it's repeated every weekday. And a function that I haven't really used much before, but you can take meeting notes inside Google Calendar. It'll open up a document, and then you can tag the date, and it creates a continuous document if you have a repeated meeting, like I have my learning time set up. So I am taking notes, as I go through things, which is super helpful because multimodal information is more retained. So if you just read something, you're gonna retain a small percentage of it. If you hear something, you're gonna retain this little bit more. If you do something, it's going to increase. One of the great things about writing, this is back from my tutoring days, like handwriting, like physically writing things out, was that you are engaging all your senses in the encoding of that information. So that's what helps it stick in the brain better than just watching a video or reading a book or even just talking about something. So that's been a great little exercise. And one of the things that I'm doing in my learning blocks right now is I'm reading a book called Money Hacks by Larry Steinhaus. And Larry is in the Alchemist Nation community, and which I'm also in. And I saw some people had mentioned that they used some tips in the book and got business credit and all this kind of fun stuff. So I thought, yeah, let's give it a read. So I downloaded it on Kindle, and I've been going through it. So one of the beginning exercises I was doing this morning was it's a $1 million selfish spending exercise. So you're handed $1 million, no strings attached, and you have to spend $1 million. And it can't be on investments, and you can't give it to somebody. It has to be spent on you or things that you want, and you got to be specific about it. So and I was going through, and they put a 10-minute time limit on it. So in 10 minutes, list out the things and be specific. Like if you want a car, what model of car, what color, what options does it have, how much does it cost? How much does it cost is key. And you want to get to $1 million. So I looked up the house that I wanted, and that was 1.3. So that was easy to get over $1 million there. But the other things that I was looking at, it's like the cars. I'm not a car guy. I don't care about cars, so that part doesn't really interest me. But I do need some new clothes, and I want some kitchen gadgets. That's all fine. But one of the biggest things that I want is a housekeeper. And I'm busy. And we got 2 kids, and the house is just not up to where I want it to be. So I said, okay, well, I'll go through the exercise. I'll actually do the research and figure out, because I've never, it's one of those things I've been in the back of my mind forever, but I haven't actually looked. So I did a little Google search and found a directory site. It has these, it's a two-way platform for housekeeping services in my area. And I was going through a couple different profiles, and basically, the prices range, but kind of an average is $35 an hour. So I said, okay, well, if I have somebody come out for 2 hours a day, every day, and doing, this includes like dishes and laundry and stuff, there's, maintenance. There's a lot of work to be done. So, okay, so 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, comes out to about $14,000 a year. And I was a little bit floored by that, because that's way less than I thought it would cost. Obviously, if you had somebody full time, it would be more. But we don't really need full time housekeeping. There's just a few things. Well, not a few, but several things that need to be done just every day. And if you just keep up with it, then the maintenance is less. So that was interesting and eye opening for me as far as the exercise of thinking of the things that you want, and then instead of just putting a picture on a vision board or whatever, which I'm not so interested in, but doing the actual research and figuring out what it is, the thing that you cost, and getting super clear on what it is that you want and what it is that it costs, and then you can make a plan. So that I found interesting. And then the other thing that's on my mind is it kind of dovetails with that, is baby steps. So right now, my foot is killing me because I'm still suffering a gout attack, and I'm taking my colchicine and everything, but it's not fun. So I'm coming up here to the chickens, and I think I've explained before that I've got to hike up the hill in the backyard basically, and so I've got my walking stick that I use. So today I need to give them food and water. I don't need water every day because the container that we use usually lasts 2 days. But with my walking stick here, I couldn't carry both. So and in the past, actually, I've tried to keep the feed up here like in a closed bucket, but some animal got in and actually broke the lid of the bucket. So I was like, well, that's not a viable solution. So now I still keep it inside and then bring it up each day as I feed the chickens. But anyway, so can't carry the water and the feed, so I have to slowly kind of hobble up and give them the feed, hobble back down, fill the water container, hobble back up, give them the water. And compared to a functional foot, it's slow, right? That whole process took probably like 8 minutes, and normally it would be like 45 seconds, so it's slow. But in that case, it's literally a case of putting one foot in front of the other. But more generally, it's just making incremental small steps, and we call them steps. It's a very physical metaphor. So when you have that clarity of goal, it's not, people get very impatient. I get very impatient, and that's understandable. That's just, I think, part of human nature. But if you just make a little bit of progress every day, or depending on your time frame, maybe a little bit of progress every hour, or every, I'm a big fan of the Pomodoro method. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. It's a little bit of progress each time, and eventually you get there. And there is no competition. Life is not a competition. I tell this to my kids all the time. One will be, the younger one will say, oh, she got to the thing first and I wanted to do it. It's like, it's not a competition. We will all experience our own journeys here. So the fact that other people might do things faster than you doesn't matter at all. You have your life to live, I have my life to live. Everybody has their own lives to live. So make the best of whatever you do have, and take those small steps, make that incremental progress, each and every day. So those are my thoughts for this morning, and I'll make some incremental progress today. I hope you do too.